So talking about the energies of the Lord, three energies we discussed: material energy, spiritual energy, marginal energy. We are all called marginal energy because sometimes we are like the bank of a river, which is sometimes wet, sometimes dry. Isn't it? So sometimes we are found in the spiritual world, some jivas are found in the material world. So therefore we are called marginal energy. And also I showed you a video regarding the spiritual world and spiritual energy. You may be remembering how the cows can give numberless cows with unlimited supply of milk. And the trees are all kalpavriksha trees, which means they are all called desire trees, purpose trees. You express a desire, they can provide you instantly. So similarly, the Supreme Lord resides in the spiritual world along with all the pure living entities. So we also talked about law-abiding citizens and law-breaking citizens. So law-abiders follow civil law and law-breakers follow criminal law, like in the state and the jail. So all these different things we discussed. And the material world is not like a concentration camp. Material world is like a jail, which is meant for reformation, purification. So those things. Anything else I missed out? Any of you can recollect? Anything else Yajna cycle was the first session. Dharma Chakra cycle. Annad Bhavanti Bhutani Parjanyad Anna Sambhava Yajnad Bhavati Parjanya Yajna Karma Samudbhava. We discussed it. Yes, Varun Prabhu?
Prabhuji had mentioned that in this age of Kali, the topmost yajna is the Sankirtan, the chanting of the Hare Krishna.
Exactly, yeah. That's Sankirtan yajna, the most important thing. In this age, if you do Sankirtan yajna, you can attain all perfection. We don't have to do any other separate type of big yajnas, arrangement and all that. Yeah, you are right. And Kalyan Prabhu, what is the first qualification?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So we have discussed like dome with material lust and unbidenness. How one can surrender to Supreme Lord.
Yeah.
And freedom from dualities, like different stages we have discussed, Nirmana stage. So
Nirmana Moha Jita Sangha Dosha, for entering into spiritual world. Elaborately we discussed it. You are right, yeah, that's true, yeah. One should become humble, one should become free from illusion. Yeah, that's true. Bhogavriti we should give up, we should have Sevavriti. Very good. We discussed that also, yeah, correct. Thank you. Anything else I left out till now? Material world is a place for reformation. It's like a hospital. And then we reform our heart and go back to God. And we cleanse the heart by chanting of the holy name and aligning with the sacred texts of the scriptures. So in this way, you got a very fair idea about the material world, spiritual world, and the goal of life is to return back home, back to Godhead. Go to the original tree. If the bird is trying to dive in the water and enjoy the fruit, the bird will only drown and suffer. Whereas the bird flies to the original tree, that can get the original fruit and enjoy truly, true happiness. So therefore you should go to the original tree, not the upside down tree. So let's proceed with the second lesson today. 3-point peace formula. So, okay, now we know about the energies. To make our lives perfect, how do we utilize the God's energies? So the first thing is recognizing God's supreme position. This is the very first step. So, the previous sessions also we talked about it. We should know that Lord Krishna expands like this as Garbhodaksha Vishnu in each universe, and then from his navel comes Brahma in a lotus, who is the first created living being. And then all the other living beings are all managed by him. So Lord Vishnu delegates the work to Brahma in disseminating knowledge, as well as, giving them suitable bodies and everything. So we learned about God's love for us. We learned all these things. This is like a revision. So we had done that. And then recognizing our subordinate position to God. We will see more elaborately now this time. Please read it.
Bhagavad Gita 7.4. Generally, one who does not know the science of God, Krishna, assumes that this material world is for the enjoyment of the living entities, and that the living entities of the Purusha, the causes, controllers, and enjoyers of the material energy. We want to be in control of many situations and people around us as per our wish without can't see.
Yeah, so there are two words used in Bhagavad Gita. One is called Purusha. The other one is called Prakriti. Actually, the word Purusha should be used only for Krishna. Because Purusha means enjoyer and Prakriti means enjoyed. Purusha means predominator and Prakriti means predominated. Purusha means supreme controller and Prakriti means controlled. And Purusha means maintainer and Prakriti is maintained. And Purusha is used for the Supreme Lord and Prakriti is used for the living entities. So this is correct understanding. If you read the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it will become very clear. There Purusha and Prakriti are explained nicely. But in the 13th chapter itself, there is one verse which says, Purusha Prakritisto hi bhungte prakritijan gunan karanam gunasangosya sadasatyo nijanmasu is saying, the living entity, imagining himself to be Purusha or the Supreme Master, what is he trying to do? He is trying to enjoy. He is trying to become an enjoyer. He is not the enjoyer. He is enjoyed. Now, what is the meaning of enjoyed and enjoyer? For example, say a CEO of a company has a cabin where he is sitting in his rotating chair with a big glass table in front of him. So he comes at 10 o'clock to the office. But before 10 o'clock, imagine a peon who is sweeping the floor in the CEO's office, looks here and there. Now CEO has not yet arrived, it's 9:45 now. He'll come after 15 minutes. So let me try sitting in this chair for a few moments and enjoy the rotating chair for a while. So when he's about to sit in the chair like this sitting, he hears some sound at the door, he gets frightened. He gets shocked. Now you just want to sit for a few minutes and enjoy, but he is afraid of enjoying. Why? Because he knows I'm not the enjoyer. This is a CEO's seat. I'm not supposed to sit in that. I'm supposed to clean his room and push off. So he is in a servitorship position. CEO is in an enjoyer position. But when the peon takes the position of enjoyer, then he is punishable. So you can understand this point of enjoyer and enjoyed, controller and controlled. So you will see that like a king is an enjoyer and the Praja citizens are under him. They pay tax to him. Is it not true? Now this may appear very cruel to us. Why is it that God is enjoyer and I have to be enjoyed by him? And I can't be enjoyer. For example, my hand, if you see, if the hand is very tired after lifting a suitcase, and I'm feeling very weak and de-energized. Now I want to give energy to my hand. Both the hands I carried very heavy bags. Now I want to give some energy to the hands. If I take some eatable, if I take some bread and jam and then keep massaging in the fingers, will the hand get energy? I have to take the bread and jam and put in the mouth. When it goes to belly, that converts it into blood and then transports it to all parts of the body, including the hand. Then the hand gets energy. Therefore, hand is the enjoyer and the stomach, as hand is the enjoyed, stomach is the enjoyer. Is it clear? Now you will all observe an interesting phenomenon. All different parts of our body are feeding the belly, and belly in turn nourishes all those parts of the body. Like a leg goes to the hotel. Eyes are looking at the food. Nose is smelling it. Hand is picking it up. The teeth are crushing. The tongue is tasting. Ultimately, everybody is putting it into the belly. Then belly gives nourishment to all parts of the body. So it's like this. The plural subordinates serve one supreme, and that one supreme nourishes plural subordinates. Same thing in a country. All the citizens of a country, they pay tax to the king. They all are serving the king, and king in turn nourishes the citizens. Similarly, in a school, there is a principal or headmaster at the top. Similarly, in a company, there is a CEO. All people in the company should work hard as per the CEO's plans. And when the money is earned by the company, then the CEO divides the earnings amongst the employees and congratulates them for their cooperation and hard work and everything. So Plural subordinates serve singular supreme. Singular supreme nourishes plural subordinates. You see in a company, in a school, in a college, in a state, and same thing applies to God too. Like, we are all millions of jivas, millions of living entities called Prakriti. And we all come together and jointly, cooperatively serve one Supreme Lord. And when we serve Him, and He in turn nourishes us. So you all can repeat a verse after me. Nityo Nityanam
Nityo Nityanam
Nityanam
Chetanas Chetananam
Chetanam
Eko Bahunam
Eko Bahuna
Yo Vidadhati Kaman.
Yoga
Vidadati Kama.
Yeah, see what is the meaning of that? Nityaha Nityanam Chetanaha Chetananam. It says that there is one supreme eternal, there are plural eternals. There is one supreme conscious, there are plural conscious. And there is one supreme and plural subordinates. Eko Bahunam. And who is that Eko? The supreme person? Yo Vidadhati Kaman. He fulfills the desires of the subordinates, he says. So the Lord is one supreme and we are plural subordinates. This verse says that. So, and therefore he is the enjoyer because we all surrender to him and serve him. Now, in this world, surrendering to somebody and serving under somebody is considered inferior. And we oftentimes rebel or protest, why should I serve? Because in this world, we have seen people exploiting us when we, become servant of them. Like, sometimes a country invades the neighborhood country and takes over the country, and then they make the country people into slaves. And they tell them to work hard. You have to lift our weight, or you have to clean our shoes, you have to sweep our homes, and you are slaves and we are masters. So we don't like that slavery. Because we are living in a world of exploitation, we hate slavery. And we like to be independent. In the spiritual world, it is not like that. The service is done out of great affection, great love. Just like, for example, if your mother or father has sacrificed a lot for you, then when you deal with them, you don't mind serving them very joyfully, because you feel that, imagine your father or mother needs to be taken to hospital, you will happily go with them, even if there's an examination the next day, students go because you have some feelings for them. In the same manner, in this world, you will see if you have affection for somebody, serving becomes a joyful thing for you. It is not a painful thing. So, therefore, in the spiritual realm also, why all the living beings are very jolly to serve the Lord? Because Lord himself serves the living entities. Like you can see the picture behind me. Here, Krishna is driving the chariot of Arjuna. Although Krishna is the master, and Arjuna is a servant. How is it that Arjuna is Prakriti, Krishna is Purusha? And why is Purusha serving Prakriti? The position has become reversed. And Arjuna knew this. He was very conscious of that. He told Krishna, my dear Krishna, you are my master, I am your servant. But now, you are driving my chariot, and I am ordering you to drive the chariot. Why? Because you have told me that you are my friend and you wish to drive my chariot. Therefore, I let you drive the chariot. It is your wish. Therefore, I allowed you to drive the chariot. Now you take my chariot in between the two armies. Like that Arjuna tells Krishna. So, even when Krishna is driving the chariot, he is not in any way inferior to Arjuna or any other living being. He is always the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Like, for example, sometimes a father becomes like a horse for the small boy, son. He takes his son on his back and the father gives him a joy ride. Does it make the father inferior? You ask anybody, who is superior? Father is superior, son is superior. Father is naturally superior. Son is a small kid, subordinate. But father takes the son on the back and gives him a joy ride. And that is out of his love, out of his affection. Or sometimes in a stunt between father and son, the father is defeated and the son takes over and sits on the belly of the father and says, Father, you are defeated now. Sometimes father may do such things out of love for the child. Similarly, Krishna becomes bound by Mother Yashoda, as if, he is helpless. He cannot escape from her, out of love for her. Similarly, Krishna becomes a charioteer of Arjuna. So he is Purusha. But Purusha becomes subordinate to Prakriti out of love. In the same manner, the Prakritis are naturally subordinate to Purusha, eternally, in that world and in this world. So, therefore, it's a very joyful position. Like Arjuna is telling Krishna, Krishna, take the ropes of my chariot, of my horses, and you take me wherever you wish in the battle and tell me whatever I should do. I will accordingly act, like the Arjuna says. And Krishna is very pleased. Krishna says, okay, I'll guide you how you should fight, and then you fight accordingly. So Krishna is offering the guidance. Now that means Arjuna's chariot ropes are in Krishna's hands. Now another interesting phenomenon I'll tell you. In America, in San Francisco, Prabhupada celebrated the first Rath Yatra. You know that? And after that, Rath Yatra went to LA and then New York, many places after that. So in Rath Yatra, you will observe Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra are sitting in the cart. And the ropes are in whose hands? Whose hands?
Devotees' hands.
Devotees' hands. That means the Lord is telling the devotees, now I am leaving the rope of my life in your hands. All of you drag me to wherever you want. You can drag me to Vrindavan. So the Lord is handing over the ropes of his chariot to the devotees. And the devotee Arjuna is handing over the ropes of his chariot to Krishna. You are able to appreciate this point? That means who is becoming subordinate to whom?
Supreme.
Yeah?
Lord Jagannath is becoming subordinate to the devotees when
Yeah, letting them
he
pull the
allows
rope
them to pull the-
out of love. Similarly, the devotees like Arjuna offering the ropes of his chariot to Krishna and saying, you guide me in the battle, Krishna, wherever you take me, I'll go. So from this, what we understand that Lord and the devotee have a very sweet relationship of love. They both like to be controlled by one another. Prabhupada writes in that purport, in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the Lord, out of love for his devotees, likes to take a subordinate position to devotees and likes to be ordered by his devotees out of love. Then the Lord accepts such a position of subordination, simply out of love. So like that he says. So therefore, serving the Lord is a very joyful thing. Whereas in this world, the living entities foolishly want to become the Lord themselves. Like you can see here, as just now he read now. Generally, one who does not know the science of God assumes that this material world is for the enjoyment of the living entities, and that the living entities are the Purushas, the causes, controllers, and enjoyers of the material energy. Like this fellow wants to control the whole globe. That fellow wants to sit on gold biscuits and have a big dollar sack with him. So now my question is, here Prabhupada says that the living entities, they don't know the science of God and they assume material world is for the enjoyment of living entities. Like that they are imagining. Then if it is not for enjoyment of living entities, then why is this world created? Who can say? It is for whose enjoyment?
Lord Krishna.
That Krishna's enjoyment. So this world exists, all the paraphernalia exists for his enjoyment. Like for example, if I go to someone's house, they have a car outside in the garage. And as soon as you enter inside, there is a dining table with a lot of varieties of foodstuffs kept there. Then there's a drawing room, there's a dining room, there's a sleeping room. So all this belongs to the owner of the house, and I may be a passerby. Some places they even put trespassers will be prosecuted. They put that board. So I can't just barge into a house and claim ownership of either the food or the bike or the car or the TV or anything there. Similarly, we all have come into this world. When we opened our eyes, we found these things. So we neither created them, nor can we claim ownership over them. Then it actually belongs to Supreme Lord, everything. He has created and kept them. At the same time, if you go to somebody's house, you can call for the owner of the house by battering the door. Sir, please may I come in? And then they, hearing the bell or something, they come and open the door. And then you say, sir, I'm a little hungry. If you permit, I can also have little prasad in your house. Then they will invite you in, they may give you a little, you can eat. With their permission, you can eat. And that's what a devotee feels. Devotee feels that I have come into this world, nothing belongs to me. I am surrounded by fruits and flowers and cereals and grains and crops and gold and silver and all these things. None of it is created by me. So then you should call the owner of all these things. Oh, Krishna, here's a very beautiful food that you have created. I'm offering it to you. With your permission, I will take it as your remnants. That's a mood in which devotee accepts anything of the world. So we accept little bit for ourselves. And we also know that whatever little quota, kena taktena bhunjita magratakkasya siddhanam, how much food we need, how much clothing we need, how much a residence place we need. Take a little bit from the Lord for your living place and the little food and everything. So, and then when we, after we accept, we understand that all this material energy should be used in Lord's service. It is not meant for my self-aggrandizement. Here is a question: how do you feel satisfaction, Prabhuji, after serving the Lord? At times we are scared of getting exploited by the spiritualist. Yeah. Actually, why we serve the Lord, I will tell you. He doesn't benefit anyway by our serving. And I will tell you the reason why we serve him. You see, in the Srimad Bhagavatam it is said, if we accumulate more than what we need, then we develop material attachment to those things. And once we become attached, our bhakti for the Lord becomes slack. Exactly like sprinkling water in firewood makes the firewood damp. It doesn't allow the firewood to glow with a brilliant fire. It is only going to give out smoke. Similarly, our bhakti also becomes very dampened and slack when we accumulate more and more goods and more money, more and more luxuries and facilities for our own enjoyment, because we deserve some little bit, we need some food. But you overeat the food, then we oversleep also. Similarly, you accumulate too much luxuries, those luxuries make us very slack. Then we sleep more, or eat more, we sleep more. Then some people who go to luxury go to even other extremes of drinking and smoking and drugs and women, all those different things. Actually, everybody in this world is allowed to marry a woman and live as a family, religious family. But somebody who doesn't marry a woman, then one may have multiple partners and hop and jump from one partner to another. And that is also another example of extravagant dealings with women, or with money, or with food, or with living place, very lavish living place. So one takes more than what one needs. So those are the things which make us weak in spiritual life. When the connection with God is made very weak, we forget him generally. Then we become very dependent on the luxuries. And we put faith in our bank balance. And we love and depend on our relatives and friends rather than depending on God. But if you accept minimum material facilities, keep your material life, we say, maximize Krishna time, minimize Maya time. Similarly, maximize service to Krishna and minimize your taking in yourself. Minimize as much as you need, very little you take. Those who take very little, then their material maintenance becomes practically nil. Little prasad, little corner to sleep, little facility, just for keeping body and soul together. Then their whole time and consciousness is freely available for absorbing in Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, too much of luxury can make us thing. And here there's the question asked about, we are scared of getting started with spiritualists. So when it comes to spiritual life, you are nowadays students want to learn knowledge. You learn knowledge, how much to surrender to the spiritualist, you decide. Because knowledge is given by the Lord himself, is giving in the spiritual textbooks, which is taught by many organizations. You identify an organization where you develop some firm faith, and then you take that knowledge and apply that knowledge in your life, and you grow. And some people actually go to certain temple where immature devotees are living, and they misuse the visitors or abuse the visitors. Then they get frustrated and they lose faith in spiritualists. Just like you go to one doctor, a dentist doctor, he breaks your tooth, and you think all dentists are tooth breakers, which is not true. One doctor may break the tooth, another doctor may not. So therefore, you can decide when you wish to surrender more and become more serious in spiritual life. But every human being should take knowledge and consider the knowledge seriously in one's mind, and keep upgrading one's understanding of God, the material world we are living in, the spiritual world, and who we are. If what you are hearing in these classes makes sense to you, then keep regular touch and come and learn and attend and grow in your understanding and awareness. And if somebody says that no, This philosophy doesn't make any sense to me. Then I always tell the boys, you are free to go anywhere you want. Ultimately, everybody is a human being. You have the choice. Even Krishna doesn't take away your choice. Whichever organization is presenting a truth which you are most convinced by, yes, you actually put faith in it from your heart, and you are able to live by that, then you follow that organization. You are free to go to the, now there are n number of organizations available on the surface of the globe. You have that freedom. As far as I am concerned, I went to a dozen organizations and I was still not satisfied, searching for the truth until I came to ISKCON. When I came to ISKCON and read Prabhupada's books, within a very short time I became deeply convinced. And I understood that this is what I was looking for. So, in the same manner, every one of you have the freedom. You can decide what you want to follow, but ultimately it takes time for us to understand and develop faith. Now it's time now. This PPT will continue in tomorrow's class. But I was laying a foundation today of Purusha and Prakriti, which is very important. Purusha is the Lord and Prakriti is the Jiva. Sometimes the Jiva imitates the Purusha by imitating his suffers because of that. Yeah. See, Varun is saying, just realize that Krishna is supreme controller, but still he does not take our choice. That is his kindness. That is his kindness. Although he is like, he is infinite and we are infinitesimal, so even the infinite respects the infinitesimal. That goes to show how big heart he has. Yeah. Thank you very much. Shri Prabhupada ki, Aur Bhakta Vrinda ki.
Well done. Okay. Very good.